We're close. 5 minutos, 5 minutes.
What's that?
Was that okay?
Yeah, from
Getting on the train.
cider here. See what they have cider on the website.
Is that close enough, sir? Is that close enough, sir?
Everybody knows Judy. You just never know her. Lily and I are going to go.
See if you like it.
Oh, good. Yes, I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited. This is amazing. This is amazing.
I guess I'll have to drink it.
I would spend Nick and I spent like a week.
This is like your thing. Okay, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Pretty amazing.
I have an undershirt on this. It wasn't too hot. It was actually pretty good in the shade.
I have an undershirt too, but I was cold at home.
You said Oaxaca.
Okay, whatever you get.
Oh my God, I forgot. Need to do some more. Yes. So I like go along because she has friends Oh, okay.
Probably.
Yeah, right.
Except where they don't want to be.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Or worse?
Better.
Oh, it's much worse.
I thought so. Well, thank you once again for coming, Travel Bug. Saturday, 5 o'clock. It is a tradition. I am in the habit now of asking, is there anybody here who's never been to a show before? 3, 4 people. Fantastic. Welcome. I hope you come and bring your friends next time. As most of you probably know, we do this partly because we love it, and secondly because it helps us promote our business. This is the one thing that we contribute, we think, to the community. So once again, welcome, and we're not going too far tonight. We're going to Mexico, as you probably all know, and it's a bit special to me because I have a house in the Yucatan as well, and this is Lisa Friedman, who's been down there and had an adventure. I guess, well, she'll tell you about her motives for going, but she did tell me something that kind of bothered me a little bit just beforehand. I asked him, you think you're going to go back? He said, I don't think so. So that's got my interest up, so let's hear what she's got to say.
But she said it's only because they don't have a travel buzz there. So she couldn't really bear to leave.
Right, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Travel Bug, for hosting, and thank you everyone for coming. There are 2 people here that knew me before 5 o'clock today, so thank you for my 2 dear friends that came, and it is also potentially live streaming to Facebook, but it's the first time I've done it, so it might be working, which means my parents on the East Coast can be watching. So I'm so grateful that you're all here and that Mexico wasn't boring enough to not bring a whole group of people into Travel Bug. You know, it's not Congo, it's not Zimbabwe. But what I did find in my time there is that I still, after growing up in the US and living here most of my life, the country that is apparently bordered to us has nothing, it has nothing to do, like nothing to do with the culture here. Like so far further, and this was like, I don't know, my 15th time to Mexico. This is not my first time to Mexico. I'm not Latina, but sometimes I pass. So that's very helpful, and also I speak Spanish, so that's really helpful when traveling in Latin America, except for Brazil, etc. But, exactly, Haiti, French Guiana, etc. But because I often pass as Latina and speak Spanish, and I'll also like present it, you know, like buenos dias, como están, then it gave me a different experience there, and invited into certain things because I didn't only pass as gringa. Only very once in a while I said, I just want you to know I'm not actually Hispanic. They were like, ooh, you know, I don't understand. Why do you present as Latina? But I'd be like, soy judía, and they're like, I kind of understand. Okay, which means I'm Jewish. So. I said, I'm Jewish. They'd be like, this is kind of making sense. Más o menos, más o menos. But that gives you a little bit about my general background. So I first came to Santa Fe almost 20 years ago after college. And the last couple years of my life before this trip to Mexico were just basically fucked. Like nothing was working. I'm an apparently formally educated person who speaks 5 languages and has traveled and has had many jobs, including here, and I'm ordained and blah, 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 blah. Real nice resume. And nothing. My housing kept falling through, weird stuff. I couldn't sleep for almost 9 months. The last period of time in Santa Fe, my jobs kept falling through, and then the last one I had before going to Mexico, here in town, not far from this location, just basically like imploded, and I started having the most intense physical experiences of my life, negative. And it was like, what is happening? And the 2 people in this room that are here, that are friends of mine, were with me during that time. And I was like, obviously there's something I'm missing. There's something that I don't get. I don't get what my profession is. I don't get where do I live? I'm blind to something. And so in the midst of this kind of cataclysmic moment, someone that I was very good friends with, who lives in Puerto Vallarta, and she still does, was like, just calm down. Just calm down. This is technically and legally this January of 2026. It doesn't feel that way in my direct experience, but legally and technically, okay? And so she said, just calm down. You could stay in my 1-bedroom apartment with me. Did any flags go up yet? Stay in my 1-bedroom apartment with me. This is the view. You can stay for 2.5 weeks. That's where we're at. And we knew each other because I had been going down to Puerto Vallarta for the last 5 or 6 years, kind of randomly, kind of at other moments that were not as extreme as this last one, where I was like, who am I? What do I do in this world? And so I went down and was leading Hebrew chanting there to a universal audience in Spanish and English. It was not a Jewish audience, maybe a few Jewish people, but it was just anyone who wanted to do spiritual practice. Just like I can go sing Om Namah Shivaya anytime I want, so also could they come and sing whatever we're singing, Shalom Aleichem, or whatever we're singing. So I knew her from this time, and she's a life coach. Do we have any other flags going up yet? Okay, so she's a life coach. She's originally from the US and she's lived down there for 5 years and we're around the same age. And who knows what age I am. We can leave that out. So we had done tons of video and I saw that this was the view from one side of her apartment, which is very beautiful. And it's about a 20-minute walk to the beach in Puerto Vallarta. So if you don't know, Puerto Vallarta is on the Pacific side of Mexico, south of Mazatlan, north of South America. Okay, so just kidding. Okay, that was just, yeah, I was just seeing if it was with me. Okay, okay. And I need to know the time because, okay, it's 5:10. Okay, I can't tell how fast or slow this is going. But I see I'm already starting. So as I'm starting, this is Mexican corn liqueur, licor de elote. So I'm gonna set it up over here and just help yourselves if you'd like to come get a l'chaim, because it is Shabbat. Come get a l'chaim if you want, and just if you'd like to try it. And actually, we also had an idea of just passing it around. Is that better? Okay, let's pass it around. Here, just here, and just here.
As long as everyone
Here,
has
hold on.
moderation.
Here, it's for taste. It's for taste. So we have a beginning, and if alcohol is not your thing, then do not have this. Okay? But this is not alcohol, and this is for the end, which hopefully you'll stay. But if you have to go, you have to go. Okay. So, yes. See, good. This is good because it's a group of people helping one another, which is something that happens very amazingly in Latin America overall, but in Mexico. The group, the comunidad, the community. I'm not saying every day because we haven't gotten to the cartel blowing up Puerto Vallarta yet. It's coming. But the individual consumer American culture that I'm still entrenched in, it doesn't live in the same way in Mexico. It just doesn't. It doesn't live in the same way. So I'm glad we have to help one another to have a l'chaim. Okay, and if you don't know what l'chaim is, or Shabbos, we can talk about that another time. That is not the focus of this, but it's just cheers, and it's to life, okay? It's to life. It's, okay, cheers. And I'm so glad you're all here. So I was like, oh my God, it's January in Santa Fe. I was like, get me out of here. It was so cold. I was like, this looks perfect. And 1-bedroom apartment, no problem. I guess we're gonna figure it out. Well, we sure did. The friendship unraveled after just a few weeks. And as it does, I mean, travel and living with someone else, right? It shows true colors. That's what, right? You're like, we're gonna make it or we're getting married. You know, it's like one or the other. I mean, we're not gonna make it or we're getting married, right? But she played a pivotal role because she got me there and she got me out of here, out of whatever was happening or not happening in my life. Good. Yes. Spread it everywhere. What's next? So I arrived there like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. Welcome. I don't know what I'm doing here. I did go on a one-way ticket. I didn't know how long I was staying. My things are still in storage here. And my car sat in front of a very dear friend's home by the grace of his generosity. And And so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. They were like, where are you from? Are you here on vacaciones? Are you here on vacation? I was like, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I live here. I really don't know. And that was a theme of the questions that happened throughout the 3 months. Was like, do you live here? Are you here on vacation? Where are you from? And I was like, I still don't know how to answer any of these questions. So from when I had gone down there a couple times in this particular kind of spiritually by Puerto Vallarta circle of like yoga teachers and life coaches and like I read your chakras. Do you know any of these people around here? So like this kind of circle of people, I was leading chanting with them. And so I knew a number of people, like an acupuncturist and a massage therapist, and you know any of these kind of people? So I got a reunion with one group of these, and we went, it was like 2 days after I had arrived, and we went into that night it was a cloud forest, and it's called, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I will remember the name of it, San Sebastian. This small pueblito, this small village that's very beloved, like around an hour or so outside of Puerto Vallarta. And it was this kind of day, and I rode on the back of the pickup truck with someone I thought was also a very good friend. You'll hear this theme. And it's very beautiful. I do recommend San Sebastian if you go. That's my only photo of San Sebastian. And being on the back of that pickup truck, I was like, oh, this is why I come to developing countries. Like, it just feels so free. It's just like, I get to just sit here. And I still didn't know what I'm doing or what I'm not doing there, but I had this reunion with other apparent friends. And on the way back to Vallarta, so Puerto Vallarta also goes by Vallarta or PV for short. That's so nice, just call it PV. So on the way back to PV, we did a tiny, tiny stop at a restroom where they sell, chocolate and cacao and coffee and all this. And there are these amazing, amazing, amazing guacamayas, parrots? Guacamayas in the back. And it was, I think I can't say I don't know why for almost anything that happened. The question cannot be why, because I just feel stopped at that. But these guacamaya, all I wanted to do was spend more time with them. They're so beautiful, and I love birds, and all of you, yes, cheers. And what happened many times was this flash of time. Like, all I had was less than a minute with these parrots, with these guacamaya. And that happened many, many times over the 3 months. Something I would have loved to spend more time with. That's the only window that happened. It was just a tiny window. Like, I would have stayed there and talked to them and been like, yay, I love you. And it was just like, the truck's leaving, like this. And that happened so many times. So that's why I wanted to share this one. So back in PV, another apparent friend, no, we were friends. I start to meld and meet and reunion, exactly, if that was her calling, that would be so cool, with my Mexican friends. And she's an artist, you can kind of just, I have her half there because we're not really in touch anymore. So, but the color of the water in the Bay of Banderas is incredible. Some people here have been to Vallarta. I can tell by way some of these, yeah, some people, but that's not a lot of people in this room. It's changing. They're building a second terminal at the airport and building like wildfire. So it's already changing, but the water is incredible, and still whales from Alaska and Northern California go down, and at that time of year, our winter, it's just like filled with whales birthing and baby whales and dolphins, and you're like, oh my God. Bay of Banderas. And Banderas means pirate. And there's an actual pirate ship there. Someone made it and sells $100 tickets on it and stuff. But there's an actual pirate ship, which I've never been on, but you get to see the pirate ship every night, and at 9 p.m. there are fireworks coming off of it. And this is like vacation vibe, right? Vallarta. But I am an ocean lover. And so I was like, well, maybe I've got it all wrong. This area of New Mexico used to be an ocean, but it's not an ocean now. So maybe I'm lost. And so you can see kind of like my happiness at the ocean. So, wait, what's that one, the one after this? Okay. So, I take a couple-day trip to Yelapa, which is a tiny, this is Yelapa. You take we're gonna see how you get there. It feels and acts like a remote island, though it's not an island, but it appears and acts that way and feels that way. And they only got electricity like a couple decades ago, and I was told there are 3 last names there, and they all know each other. Garcia, Ramirez, I can't remember, but I think one of the 3 is definitely Garcia. And when I went, I was like, oh my God, this beauty. This was the view from the room I stayed in. And it's just this tiny little bay, and very calm water because of it. And you get there, I hope this is the next photo. Well, almost. Later on, you're gonna see how we get there because I go back for a second time. So while I'm there, I meet some amazing people, and I was like, who are the amazing people on this tropical island? And I had the fantasy in my eye of what a tropical island is, and maybe that's what I've been missing, you know. I could just work at the elementary school here, and this is my life. They do have an elementary school. This was on Valentine's Day with like a Mexican crew that I kind of ended up riding with and going to Sweat Lodge with. Sweat Lodge, Lakota Sweat Lodge, run by Mexican people with Mexicans inside, and then me. So this was from that crew. And they took me to the river. I love flowers, so here's just some beautiful flowers. What are they? They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Why do people go to Puerto Vallarta? That question can be answered. Oh, okay. That's the transition, okay. So, I had to get out of that first place. I was there I think I made it to 2.5 weeks. I don't remember, 2.5 weeks. as that friendship dissolved.
Oh.
And kind of happenstance at a cacao ceremony that she was leading that I didn't want to be at because I was like, I think this is, like cultural appropriation. Met somebody and we were talking about doing like sound things together, and I was like, I need another place to stay. And she was like, well, my friend and I are about to go to Costa Rica and she needs a house sitter for her house and her kitten. Perfect. So my next stop is 1 block from the ocean in Vallarta, taking care of this kitten. I didn't know kittens could do that, but she can or could.
Aw, that's so very cute.
And so, of course, I didn't know that I'd end up kitten sitting in this apartment 1 block from the ocean. And this kitten is like amazing. And she really gave me so much love. She's just so loving. Here's another epic sunset. I'm not sure if that's the pirate ship in the back, but it might be. Yeah.
What's the kitty's name?
Well, I didn't use her name because I don't think that's her name. But the parent calls her Mochi. But I was like, that is not this kitten's name. I was like, this is not Mochi. So I didn't use the name Mochi.
What'd you use?
I think I just said mi amor, corazón, my love, my heart, just loving words. I think I also did something like this.
Never felt this way before. Yes, I swear. It's the truth. And I owe it all to you, mother, son. Every time of my life. I never felt this way before. Yes, I swear. It's the truth. And I owe it all to you.
He's little.
So I feel like some kind of healing happened with this kitten. Gato de... Go ahead.
Gato bebe leche.
You're good.
How long are they going to have it?
This gato did not bebe leche, but some kind of healing happened with this kitten, and it's like I saw that this thing that's so common, someone has a pet, having a pet could be at the right time at the right place and make such an impact in my life and in a person's life, and in this case, this cat with me. So, and I could have never imagined. I leave here, I go, I know what's gonna happen in Mexico. I'm gonna kitten sit and she's gonna heal me. No, I didn't know. We're not there yet. Okay, so, during that time, it's 5:30. Good, thank you. That was helpful. I do need to see what time is because I might have to go faster. During the time I was with said kitten, Puerto Vallarta is a lovely place that for decades and decades and decades and decades is safe, is kind of like a safe circle in Mexico. Why? This why. Because, why? Not only tourists, because the cartel of Jalisco, of that state, protects it. But what happens when the cartel decides to do something else, like not protect Puerto Vallarta, and instead shut it down and blow it up? So I didn't include any of these photos because I don't like re-traumatization. I think, let's heal, you know? But on a random day, while I was with this kitten a block from the ocean in Vallarta, I was gonna walk down and do my morning writing, and I look up and I see very dark clouds, and I was like, oh, it's gonna rain, it's kind of random. No, they're pillars of smoke, thank you. And this has never happened in Vallarta, but the Mexican cartel of Vallarta, of Jalisco, of that state, was upset. So they were like, you know what, Mexican government and secondary American government, this is our response. So they bombed almost all of the corner stores called Oxxos in Vallarta. Only 26 remain, that's the number I was told. But while it was happening, it looks like the buildings are going up in fire. It looked like the Costco there was going up in fire. Oh no, it was only the vehicles in the parking lot. And they shut the airport down, and we went into like a war zone day. All of a sudden, like never before and maybe never again, because there are no more Oxxos, so they can't do it anymore. And I am in touch with the owner of this kitten going, we didn't talk about if I have to evacuate. So I'm like getting stuff prepared in case we have to evacuate. I'm like, where are we gonna go? All the streets are blocked. And I find out after that day that this cartel is a polite one. Don't worry. A lot of the Mexican people of that area, the next day, they were like, it's fine. It's a polite cartel. What does that mean? That means, or what that meant, is that no person was harmed. It was only vehicles, buses, and places and things. So, for example, they were like, excuse me, madam, will you please get out of your car? We're going to blow it up. Everyone off the bus, por favor. We're gonna be lighting it on fire and blocking the roadway so that the Mexican government can't get through. Gracias. Okay, sigue. So there was just a lot of conversation with so many expats that live there and so many snowbirds of like, this was so terrible, but other people going like, well, actually, was it? I mean, kind of, but what is really terrible? So that is like a large conversation in the world that I didn't like really take into, but that day really impacted me very deeply. And I was like, wow, do I want to live in a place where something like this is possible? I was like, no, I don't. And that is when I learned so much about the Mexican cartel. I had never knew that I was going to learn so much about the Mexican cartel and how much the Jalisco cartel, but you are right, there are many cartels, many Mexican cartels, but this particular one, and that what I've heard my whole life about the drug trade, drug trade from Mexico coming up to the US and Canada, or you hear about it from all of Latin America coming up here, but I was like totally immersed in it, and I don't buy cocaine, so like I don't really know about it, and like that, and seeing how on a daily basis the impact on just like a common person's life. And in a way that here, it doesn't happen that way here. Like I'm not impacted by that unless I'm in those circles. But this was like, no, any person having to do with anything. Working on the beach, working in a restaurant, anything that the cartel's presence is so pervasive. And I'm not gonna, I don't want to spend too much time on that because there's so much more, but to see it from their point of view really was a game changer. And like, oh, I don't do drugs, so whatever. You can't get around that living there. It's just because someone doesn't do just all these stories that I heard of the impact. And I don't care how many articles I could read or someone could read, just seeing that impact, I was like, you know, of course I'm like, of course I care about people and the environment. I'm being very general here. Like no person is illegal. Of course. Of course. But like, no such thing happens here. No such thing. And I got to see it with new eyes. So, okay, we already did the singing. So I might breeze through these. I did lead a Shabbat there at a yoga studio. I had led Hebrew chanting there before. This is my dear friend who came down for 2 weeks to visit. So that was another chapter of my time there. And otherwise, everyone there is Mexican. We had a beautiful Shabbat. And most of the people there had never celebrated Shabbat. This is Puerto Vallarta Tourism 101. This is going down. There's a walkway along the water. It's very beautiful. With my friend Nicole who came. I think I'll skip that for time. So the photo that was the image in the email about today, there's a main Guadalupe church in Puerto Vallarta, and this is inside. And it's kind of a main, you know, kind of like the cathedral here, it's kind of a main point. Oh, so that's a good Moroccan, just a little Moroccan. Because way bigger here. So Guadalupe, of course we know here Guadalupe is Santa Fe, right? Okay, but now this is where she comes from. So yes, every time I saw Guadalupe, a little more kitten. So I couldn't stay there forever because her mom was coming back from Costa Rica. And when I was packing, she put herself in my luggage. She put herself there. So where was I going next? Oh, so my friend who had come in from California for 2 weeks, we did a little bit of traveling together. We stayed in the area, so about 1 hour north of Puerto Vallarta is a very, very hippie kind of vibe space called Sayulita. Surfing, hippies, You got the picture? Okay.
A lot of Santa Feans are there, actually.
In Sayulita?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yes. So, a respite. And these flowers, if you've never seen them, the bugambilia, I mean, they're just precious. I know they're around the world. This was inside an Airbnb, and that is, I think, maybe on our last night. And she knew someone from Philadelphia, and we went and visited him, and this became a theme for me. I saw this outside of their trailer. They live in a trailer park. They're retired from the U.S. and live there full time, and had this be at peace outside their area. And I was like, What would that be like? What would that be like? So I go a second time to Yelapa. We're going back. We're going chronological, but we're also going back and forward. And this is the tiny, tiny fishing town. And this is how you get there from Puerto Vallarta, is you take a very bumpy, tiny boat, and that's my luggage. You put the luggage in front of the boat. And that's how you get there, because they don't have cars. So we're in the Bay of Banderas. We're still in PV. Well, that's mine. That's my, I think I can. Yeah. So that's how they get anything there. I saw a huge box of diapers from the Costco. So there's a Costco and a Walmart in Vallarta, and I was like, okay, that's a good like transition place. But everything in that Walmart is different, and I barely go to this one anyway. But it's not. I was like, this isn't like an in between. This isn't like Mexico with like some U.S. in it. No, it was still Mexico. There just happened to also be a Costco and a Walmart Mexico style. You know, I had a shift in my mind about that. So, who do I meet on this island? This person. I think you can do this. This is they have two places. So I meet this person there, and we have some adventures on the island. I'm saying island because it feels and looks and acts that way, okay? Like you have to take this boat there. There are no cars and all of this. You can't get in from the other side. There are mountains, and it's there. You don't get in from there. And we met in the water, in the ocean. That's the ocean right there, right there. And he's like, you know, we do like fun fantasy island things. Like he's like, do you like grapefruit? And I was like, this is all in Spanish. This person, I find out later, does speak some English. Faker monolingual Spanish speaker. Yes, yes, I like grapefruit. He's like, let's go to the grapefruit tree. So then that's what we do. We go to the grapefruit tree that's filled with grapes, and him with like the long pole. I mean, it's like, you know, kind of out of like him with the long pole. He's like, I will get the grapefruits for like my not Latina friend. And like they're dropping everywhere. And so we have this kind of like island adventures. More beautiful sunsets. And more time with this really beautiful person. And I think that's my transition to leave. So I can feel my end of Vallarta. 5:43, oh my God. That went fast. Oh God. Oh God, okay, 1 second, okay. I feel my end of Vallarta. And I was like, okay, I'm done here. All these friendships have closed. All this is just, the city blew up. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm done. And I have other friends that are in Oaxaca, and I've never been to Oaxaca. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's go to Oaxaca. So these are very beautiful photos of Oaxaca. I really didn't know what to expect. And I know some people in this room also have spent significant time in Oaxaca. And what surprised me, this is like one of the main walking streets, is that it's so colorful. To me, it's like a third cousin of Santa Fe. There's so much art. There's so much culture. it felt safe there. And I asked about any cartel, about our cartel. And they were like, no, I heard from people, no. Because I was like, it feels different here. There's high academic, there are high academia there. A lot of people go there to study. And deep culture and a unbelievable food scene, which I had no idea. Which that's what we're gonna close with, is here. And I hear a bird sound. Oh, also it's high elevation, it's surrounded by mountains. And there's a strong indigenous presence. So I was like, not deja vu, but I forgot, I was surprised. I'd never heard people here say like, Oaxaca's kind of like Santa Fe, but not the color of the buildings like this. But I hear a bird song that I know. I've lived in Santa Fe over 10 years total, and I'm a nature person, so I hear this bird song and I was like, I know that bird. And after like, by that point it had been 2 months of everything new and different and fresh, I was like, that's a finch. And so they have some of the same birds as we have here, which I had no idea. So the same red finch that's here and some others. So there's like, this is like the tipping point of, whoa, there's something I know. There's some kind of familiarity, because up until then it was just, don't know. Like I don't know where it's just a lot of unknown. This is a beautiful theater built by the French. That's the other feeling in Oaxaca, is to me it felt like Europe in Mexico. And I didn't know that that exists in Mexico. I was very surprised. And even this kind of cloud formation, like, I was like, seems slightly familiar. A lot of art museums, so much. And so much cacao. And they're really serious about it. Like, really serious. Like, did I say really serious about it? Because they're really serious about it. So I did end up going on like a cacao tasting for my birthday. And these, because of time, and this particular cacao, is it a farm? Finca? Finca. They had so many different beans. These were the like a darker one. But I'm also gonna pass these around, and if you'd like to have one, just help yourself. And I just recommend that you just give it your attention. Something like that, you know? Like something like that. So I'm gonna pass these around, if you'd like one. You're welcome. And I'm gonna close out so that we have time for questions. This is flowers. This is Monte Alban, an extraordinary archaeological site outside of Oaxaca City. Not built by the Aztec, by the Zapotecas. And this theme of peace that's appearing. I walked around these grounds, and I'm like a pretty sensitive body person, and I could just feel this settling, this calm. Even that bird too. I'm going a little quickly now. but this site is enormous. It's enormous, and it's kind of free form. It's not like Chichen Itza now. So much of Chichen Itza is closed, as I understand. You can kind of just cruise, and it's enormous. And there are so many ritual ceremonial places. When you come in, it's a ritual ceremonial place. In the middle of here is where they did ceremony, and I felt like this was definitely where they sacrificed people, because I could tell, just the way that it's set up. And something about this particular angle and seat was, maybe also the perfection of the angle. All these angles they're perfect. Going up that I felt such peace in this space too. That's the formal information about it. I'm gonna skip that. Just a few more of the extraordinary roads and streets in Oaxaca, just the color. And I thought, forget you, Santa Fe one color, Adobe brown. I was like, I want to live, I'm gonna live. I was like, maybe I'll stay here. I love color. These are just like the street, just the streets. Yeah, that's, you're right. In one neighborhood it is cobblestone, it's not always. But just like, wow. Not only the beauty, but what just happened in this room, there's some kind of quieting. A very festive place. Outdoor salsa. Lots of ruins from when the Spanish were there. I was there for their 494th year anniversary since the Spain colonized there, just like here. So a lot of but the architecture there is so different than here. I'm gonna skip that. And I'll close with the weaving. So, yes, I'll close with the weaving. So my birthday is end of April, and I went with a beautiful new friend who I met in the last place I lived, to a weave, and I don't know anything about weaving. I was like, this just looks cool. It's kind of what's happening right now. Again, more of the I don't have a big story about why we're going to go see the weavers on my birthday. This is just what is happening. So this man has been weaving for 60 years, and I didn't know it was rhythmic, and they have the largest looms in Oaxaca out of all of Mexico and maybe all of Central America, they said. I'm sorry, I don't remember that detail. But something about being around weaving. Now I'm saying from a human point of view and a poetic point of view, it was so touching and deep, so deep to see the spool. This seems like whatever. But that for millennia, all of this about the weavers and weaving, actually, this is around the world. I could have been this was Mexico, but I could have been, I could have been where? In India, I could have been in somewhere else too. But seeing like the prefab